by the two superpowers in the affairs of Canada. So dear students, we are finished with the techniques of balance of power, and I hope that now you will be able to recall all the points of techniques of balance of power. We will revise this again at the end of this lecture. My next topic is about the benefits of balance of power. क्या बैलेंस ऑफ पावर के कुछ फायदे हैं? अगर फायदे हैं तो क्या फायदे हैं? कैन यू थिंक ऑफ सम ऑफ द बेनिफिट्स ऑफ द बैलेंस ऑफ पावर? के आखिर ताकत का जो तवाज़ुन है उसके क्या फायदे हो सकते हैं? रिमेंबर, हम इन कुछ फायदों को तो बार बार इस यूनिट में दोहरा भी चुके हैं. सो आई थिंक you will be able to recall some of the benefits. So the first benefit, which is very important, is called bringing and maintaining peace. Remember, ये इसका सबसे बड़ा ही फायदा है, क्योंकि हम पहले भी बता चुके हैं, हम वजाहत कर चुके हैं कि balance of power achieved peace. It brings peace, and whenever there is a powerful state, it becomes a threat to its neighbor, and as a result, power equation would be disturbed and which would result in war and conflicts. So it helped in maintaining and bringing peace. It provided peace in the absence of any effective mechanism of collective security. Balance of power अमन लाता है और ये सारे स्टेट्स की एक कलेक्टिव सिक्योरिटी इंश्योर करता है कि ये जो वर्ल्ड है इसमें बैलेंस ऑफ पावर हो, पावर का तवाज़ुन हो. तो जब तक कोई और निज़ाम नहीं मौजूद जो कि बैलेंस ऑफ पावर को ला सके या दुनिया में अमन कायम कर सके, तो रिमेंबर, बैलेंस ऑफ पावर का जो प्रिंसिपल है, इसका जो असूल है, ये दुनिया में सारे स्टेट्स के लिए एक कलेक्टिव सिक्योरिटी का ज़ामिन बन चुका है. पीस इन यूरोप existed in 19th century due to balance of power, and peace between Pakistan and India exists for the same reason. So these are a few examples in which the balance of power was able to bring peace and stability in the region. In the 19th century, there was balance of power in Europe, and as a result, there was peace in Europe during the 19th century. और उसके बाद जब बैलेंस ऑफ पावर डिस्टर्ब हुआ और कुछ स्टेट्स ज़्यादा पावरफुल हुए, तो जिसकी वजह से वर्ल्ड वॉर्स वजूद में आई and they were fought. Similarly, between Pakistan and India, there is a balance of power, and as a result, there is peace in the region. Once the power equation is disturbed, it would result in conflicts. इसी तरह अगर आपको एग्जाम्पल दे दी जाए about during Cold War, in which the power of Soviet Union and the America bloc was balanced, as a result, there was peace during the Cold War, and no big event or no big war happened, although there was rivalry between the two blocs. इसका जो second advantage है वो है helped in preservation of independence of smaller states post World War II. Post का मतलब क्या है? हम पहले कर चुके हैं इसको. Post का मतलब है after. So after World War II, balance of power helped in the preservation of independence of smaller states. ये जो छोटी रियासतें हैं, जो कमज़ोर रियासतें हैं, वो भी बैलेंस ऑफ पावर की वजह से अपने वजूद को बरकरार रख सकें. They were able to sustain their independence. They were able to maintain their independence because of balance of power. Why it was so? The smaller states joined with one of the bloc to ensure its security during Cold War. कुछ जो स्मॉलर स्टेट्स थी, उन्होंने क्या किया? उन्होंने कौन सा रास्ता अपनाया? उन्होंने एक ब्लॉक के साथ इल्हाक कर लिया. तो या वो स्टेट जो कमज़ोर स्टेट थी, जो कि वजूद में आ रही थी या पहले से मौजूद थी, तो या तो वो कैपिटलिस्टिक ब्लॉक के साथ शामिल हो गई या वो कम्युनिस्टिक ब्लॉक के साथ शामिल हो गई. और इसी तरह इस बैलेंस ऑफ पावर की वजह से उनकी जो इंडिपेंडेंस है वो बरकरार रही. इसके अलावा कुछ स्टेट्स जो कि कमज़ोर थे, लेकिन उन्होंने अपना एक अलग सा ग्रुप बना दिया जिसको नॉन अलाइनमेंट मूवमेंट कहा जाता है, NAM, नॉन अलाइंड मूवमेंट, जिसमें ये जो स्टेट्स हैं they did not join any of the bloc. They declared that they are not favoring each of the bloc. So both of the blocs are equally friendly to them. So they would not go towards communistic bloc, neither they would go towards capitalistic bloc. They would stay as a different group. And because of the balance of power between Russia and America, so these states also maintained their independence. How? Because both the blocs would not interfere in the affairs of these smaller powers. वो इनको कुछ नहीं कहते हैं क्योंकि इससे balance of power disturb हो जाता. So it was through an agreement that they would not interfere in the affairs of the third state. Otherwise, the world would become into a very volatile situation, and the peace of the world would be disturbed. So while some states formed non-alignment movement to become neutral during Cold War to ensure their security. So these smaller states were able to maintain their independence because ये जो दो बड़ी सुपर ताकतें थी ये इन स्मॉलर स्टेट्स को कुछ नहीं कहती ताकि ये अपनी निज़ाम को खुद चलाएं, और ये जो बड़ी स्टेट्स थी ये अब बैलेंस ऑफ पावर को डिस्टर्ब नहीं कर रही थी, and therefore these smaller states were able to make themselves independent and preserve their independence. So due to balance of power between the two superpowers, the smaller states were able to maintain their independence, while the superpowers also did not interfere in their affairs. Thus the modern nation system was strengthened by balance of power. तो ये जो नेशन स्टेट सिस्टम है इसको बैलेंस ऑफ पावर ने मजीद तकवीत दी, इसको मजीद स्ट्रॉन्ग किया, क्योंकि बैलेंस ऑफ पावर जब तक दोनों ब्लॉक्स के बीच में मौजूद रही तो ये जो वीकर स्टेट्स थी इन्होंने भी अपने वजूद को बरकरार रखा, क्योंकि द बिगर स्टेट्स वर नॉट इंटरफेयरिंग इन द अफेयर्स ऑफ दिस वीकर स्टेट्स. द थर्ड एडवांटेज ऑफ बैलेंस ऑफ पावर इज दैट इट एक्टेड एज एन एजेंट in observing respect and obedience for international law in the absence of any other agency. Remember, international law, बैनुल-अक़वामी कानून जो कि exist करता है दुनिया में, and it regulates the relation between different states. So because of balance of power, the states were obeying international law. They were following international law. They would respect international law, because when there is a balance between the two states, then they would follow international law. अगर एक स्टेट बहुत ज़्यादा पावरफुल हो और बाकी स्टेट्स कमज़ोर हो तो फिर रिमेंबर वो जो बड़ा स्टेट है उसके मुताबिक तो माइट इज़ राइट का कानून चलेगा, वो जो कुछ कहेगा उसी पे अमल करेगा, and it will not care for the other states. It will do as it like, and as a result it will or it may not obey international law. But when the powers of the two are balanced, then for mutual understanding and for existing their interest and to maintain their interest and for their own benefit, they would maintain and they would respect for international law, और दोनों बैनुल-अक़वामी क़वानीन की पासदारी करेंगे और उस पर अमल करेंगे. So if balance of power exists, then the state would observe international law to avoid any unpleasant situation and international criticism for its own benefit and interest. तो जिस तरह पहले बताया जा चुका है कि जब तक balance of power exist करेंगी, so they would obey the international law because they want to avoid any kind of unpleasant and embarrassing situation. अगर दोनों के बारे में पावर बैलेंस्ड हो तो दोनों जो पावर्स हैं वो इंटरनेशनल लॉ की पासदारी करेंगे, क्योंकि इसी की वजह से दोनों का निज़ाम चलेगा. और इसी तरह दे आल्सो डू नॉट वांट इंटरनेशनल क्रिटिसिज्म एंड इट इज़ आल्सो बेनिफिशियल इन देयर ओन इंटरेस्ट. बट इफ अ स्टेट इज़ वेरी पावरफुल, then it will not care about any international law or principle and would follow might is right principle. जिस तरह मैंने एक्सप्लेन कर दिया है क्योंकि एक स्टेट इतना पावरफुल है कि उसको चेक करने के लिए कोई दूसरा कोई कानून नहीं है, कोई और एजेंसी नहीं है, तो फिर वो अपने मफाद के लिए, अपने कौमी मफाद के लिए वो इंटरनेशनल लॉ की बहुत से जो शिकें हैं और जो पॉइंट्स हैं उसको फॉलो नहीं करेगा, एंड इट वुड डू एज इट लाइक्स। जिसकी एग्जांपल अभी हमारे पास है कि यूएस ड्रोन अटैक इज अगेंस्ट इंटरनेशनल लॉ। US is having many drone attacks in Pakistan, which is against the sovereignty of Pakistan, which is the violation of territorial integrity of Pakistan. But still US is doing drone attacks in Pakistan, which is against international law. But it is not caring about it because it's the superpower. It is the only power which is left now. The power cannot be checked by other state. As a result, due to this greater power of US at present, it is not caring for international law and do as it likes for its own national interest, although it is against international law. और इसी तरह इसके बाद जो अमेरिका का जो फ्रेंड है इसराइल, and which is the child of America, again it is following the same principle. It is powerful in the Middle East region and it is attacking Gaza and not caring for the world public opinion or the international opinion, and it's following its own rule. So these are some of the points that if there is balance of power, the states would obey international law. But if the power is preponderance, if one of the states is very powerful, remember it may not obey international law, as we can see at present. इसी तरह balance of power also contributed to disarmament and arms control. जिस तरह हमने कहा कि disarmament की वजह से भी balance of power achieve हो सकती है, तो हमने देखा कि during the historical phase of disarmaments, when the two superpowers during the Cold War, they were having so many conflicts, so they went for disarmaments, which was very positive. दोनों ने असलहे की क्वांटिटी में और उसकी क्वालिटी में तखफीफ की और अपनी फौजों को कम किया और अपने एक्सपेंसेस को कम कर दिया. So this was a very positive effect of balance of power. They were achieving the balance of power, they were keeping balance of power, but still they were going for disarmaments and they were destroying their nuclear weapons and they were destroying their sophisticated missile weapons only to bring balance of power. So remember, balance of power also contributed to disarmaments and arms control, which was very healthy. US and SU, United States, and SU means Soviet Union, agreed to decrease their nuclear and other sophisticated weapons and still maintain balance of power. And as a result, this disarmament resulted in lessening of tension. दोनों के बीच में जो तनाव था उसमें कमी आई, जो कशीदगी थी उसमें कमी आई, and as a result the distrust was decreased. तो दोनों के दिलों में शक्कों को शुबहात दिया, जो एक बेचैनी सी थी वो खत्म हो गई या कम हो गई, and as a result there was confidence developed in the two blocs. It helped in making confidence building between the two blocs, and they start respecting each other, they start trusting each other. So as a result, this is another very good advantage of balance of power. Aziz Tulaba, after doing the advantages of balance of power, let's discuss about some of the criticism on balance of power. Balance of power पे कुछ तनकीद भी हुई है, इसकी कुछ negative aspects भी हैं. Let's see if we can understand the criticism on balance of power. The first is that balance of power did not bring peace, rather it encouraged war. जिस तरह क्लेम किया जाता है कि जब तक बैलेंस ऑफ पावर मौजूद रहती है उस वक्त दोनों ममालिक आपस में नहीं लड़ते हैं और वो जंग को अवॉइड करते हैं, क्योंकि बैलेंस ऑफ पावर ब्रिंग्स पीस. लेकिन देखा ये गया है और ये भी फैक्ट है कि बैलेंस ऑफ पावर पीस नहीं लाता, बल्कि उसकी वजह से जंग होती है. जब दोनों के बीच में पावर तवाज़ुन हो तो दोनों जंग के लिए आमादा हो जाते हैं, और अगर एक ज्यादा स्ट्रांग हो तो फिर जंग नहीं हो गया. So remember, when the powers of the two blocks, or if you can take a simple example, if the power of two persons are equal, they may fight with each other because they are not sure which one of them would win. But if one of them is a bit sure that it would win, so it will go for a war. So remember, balance of power did not bring peace, rather it has encouraged war. Example दी जा रही है कि World War I and World War II was happened due to balance of power. We can see there were many European powers that were involved, and the powers of these blocks were almost balanced, and therefore they went for balance. They went for war. And peace exists because of preponderance of power. What we mean by preponderance? Preponderance का मतलब है concentration of power. जब पावर का इर्तिकाज हो, जब पावर ज्यादा हुआ, पावर की superiority हो, तो remember, it is being said, it is being claimed by scholars and by writers that peace exists because of preponderance of power. अमन उस वक्त होता है जब एक पावर की कंसंट्रेशन हो, जब कुछ रियासतें ज्यादा ताकतवर हों, जब उनके पास ज्यादा पावर हो, उस वक्त अमन रहता है, क्योंकि उनके साथ कोई जंग के लिए आमादा नहीं होगा. और अगर पावर इक्वल होगी, then remember, the states would go for a war. The next is that balance of power theory assumes that state actions are always aimed at seeking power. However, power is not the sole aim, and actions are not always motivated to increase power. बैलेंस ऑफ पावर के नजरिए के मुताबिक रियासतें हमेशा अपनी पावर को इंक्रीज करने की कोशिश करती हैं. उनका मकसद अपनी पावर को बढ़ाना है, अपनी पावर को मुख्तलिफ टेक्निक के जरिए दवाम पहुंचाना है, और अपने ही इंटरेस्ट के लिए अपने ही पावर्स को इंक्रीज करती हैं. लेकिन ये थ्योरी सही नहीं है, क्योंकि स्टेट्स हमेशा अपनी पावर को इंक्रीज करने की कोशिश नहीं करती. ये वाहिद मकसद नहीं है. कुछ ऐसे एक्शंस हैं, कुछ ऐसे काम हैं जो कि स्टेट करती है, लेकिन उसका मकसद अपनी पावर को इंक्रीज करना नहीं होता. सो रिमेंबर, नॉट ऑलवेज all actions of a state are for increasing its power. There are many things which a state do, and it is not aimed at increasing power. For example, promotion of its ideology, which is not aiming at power. Similarly, protection of one's culture and promoting one's culture is not aiming at power, but still the state are doing it, and these are the things which are not motivated to increase power. इसी तरह a state wants to increase its trade, it wants to go for business, and therefore it introduces different types of reforms and activities. इसी तरह गेम्स हैं, टूर्नामेंट्स हैं, स्पोर्ट्स हैं, जिसमें एक रियासत हिस्सा लेती है और काफ़ी पैसे इस पे खर्च करती है, but the objective is not to increase power. So, according to balance of power theory, always the state's actions are aimed at increasing power, but this is not the reality. हकीकत ये नहीं है. स्टेट्स ऐसे बहुत से काम करती है जिनमें ताकत का हसूल शामिल नहीं होता, और वो फिर भी उनके लिए काफ़ी तगदो करती हैं, काफ़ी कोशिश करती हैं. The third criticism is that power is not increased through alliances, armaments, divide and rule, and other factors as we discussed. It can also be increased through other factors. We have discussed some of the techniques which bring balance of power and which increase power. For example, through alliances, a state can increase its power. Similarly, through armaments, असलहे की दौड़ और असलहे को हासिल करना, so this can also increase power. इसी तरह divide and rule का principle है which increases its power. And similarly, we have compensation and we have buffer states, and all these techniques are for increasing and for maintaining balance of power. But remember, power can also be increased through other factors which are not discussed. There are some factors which are contributory to increasing national power beside the powers that are already mentioned. For example, A state can also increase its power through industrialization. इंडस्ट्रीज लगाना, इंडस्ट्रियल टेक्नोलॉजी को डेवलप करना, उसकी वजह से भी स्टेट कैन इंक्रीज इट्स पावर, बट दिस इज नॉट डिस्कस्ड इन द टेक्निक्स ऑफ बैलेंस ऑफ पावर. इसी तरह नेशनल कैरेक्टर एंड मोरल, डेवलपिंग द नेशनल कैरेक्टर, improving the national character and improving the morale of the people can also give power to a state. They are elements of national power, but they are not discussed here, although they can also increase the national power. इसी तरह a state can improve its education and it can become a very stronger state. Similarly, if there is a charismatic leadership, if there are good leadership in the country, and there is very dedicated and very devoted leaders present in the country, that country again would be very powerful. It would be very strong, and this can achieve the states and can make it very powerful state, but these are not discussed in the balance of power. So remember, power cannot be increased through the techniques that we have already discussed. Power can also be increased through national character, industrialization, education, leadership qualities. All these are contributory to national power. The fourth is that the theory assumes that the balance of power has been prevalent throughout ages, which is wrong. Preponderance of power has been the rule throughout. बैलेंस ऑफ पावर की जो थ्योरी है ये अज्यूम करती है कि हमेशा हिस्ट्री में, हमेशा तारीख में देयर इज बैलेंस ऑफ पावर, हमेशा पावर बैलेंस रही है, जो कि गलत है. क्योंकि जब भी हम देखते हैं तो तारीख में हमेशा एक पावरफुल हमेशा रहा है, हमेशा एक स्ट्रांग पार्टी मौजूद रही है और जिसकी वजह से अमन कायम रहा है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, ड्यूरिंग द अर्ली डेज रोमन एम्पायर वॉज द स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट पावर, and then in the Middle Ages Great Britain was the strongest power, and now it's America which is the only superpower. And all these is giving us the evidence that throughout the times हमेशा तारीख में एक बड़ी ताकत हमेशा वजूद में रही है. और ये चंद एग्जाम्पल आपको दी जा रही हैं कि किस तरह तारीख में ये पावर्स मौजूद रही हैं और इनसे टक्कर का और कोई पार्टी या पावर नहीं था. The fifth is that peace was disturbed by the weaker states and their desire to increase their powers. While preponderance of power is not a threat, rather peace was established by big powers. हमेशा दुनिया की अमन को इन छोटी रियासतों ने तबाह किया है. इन छोटी रियासतों ने जहाँ पर पावर बैलेंस रही है तो वहाँ पे पीस को डिस्टर्ब किया गया है. और हमेशा अमन लाने में जो सबसे बड़ा किरदार रहा है वो बड़ी ताकतों का रहा है. हमेशा बड़ी ताकत ने, हमेशा सुप्रीम पावर ने अमन को कायम करने की कोशिश की है. जिस तरह पीस इन यूरोप इन द 19th century was only because Britain was the strongest power and France was the strongest power in the Europe. Therefore peace was established because of it. And at present we have peace because of the supreme power or the superpower of America. And as long as there is this one unique power, so there is balance in the region. Remember, the sixth point is that it is very difficult to measure power. पावर को मेजर करने का बहुत ही डिफिकल्ट तरीका है और वो है जंग. जब भी जंग होगी उसके बाद आपको इल्म होगा कि क्या पावर बैलेंस थी, क्या दोनों में एक पावर स्ट्रांग थी. लेकिन रिमेंबर, war is not a very good way of measuring balance of power. So this is again very inhumane. Number 7th is that balance of power theory assumes that states can take side as they wish to bring balance of power, which is not true. The states care for their own national interest and chooses the goals to ally with another state. So this means that the state are not independent. बैलेंस ऑफ पावर ये अज्यूम करती है कि जो स्टेट्स हैं दे कैन टेक साइड विद एज दे विश. अपनी मर्जी के मुताबिक वो किसी भी स्टेट के साथ शामिल हो जाते हैं ताकि बैलेंस ऑफ पावर कायम की जाए. लेकिन ये सही नहीं है. स्टेट्स जब भी शामिल होती है वो अपने मफाद को देख के शामिल होती है. उनका मकसद बैलेंस ऑफ पावर लाना नहीं होता, बल्कि उनका मकसद अपने मफादात का तहफ़्फ़ुज़ होता है. The last is that the theory assumes that the presence of a balancer that will side with the weaker to bring balance. According to the theory of balance of power, एक बैलेंसर की मौजूदगी जरूरी है। बैलेंसर एक तवाज़ुनकार है, एक तवाज़ुनकार रियासत है जो कि मौजूद रहता है और वो पावर को बैलेंस करता है। कैसे बैलेंस करता है? जो सबसे कमजोर ताकत है उसके साथ वो शामिल हो जाता है ताकि ताकत का तवाज़ुन बरकरार रहे। लेकिन ये सही नहीं है। जब भी बैलेंसर किसी के साथ शामिल होगा, रिमेंबर इट विल लुक एट इट्स ओन इंटरेस्ट एंड इट वुड लुक एट इट्स ओन गोल्स रादर देन टू प्रेफर टू जॉइन द वीकर स्टेट्स। तो बैलेंसर एक वीकर के साथ ज्वाइन नहीं होगा, बल्कि वो ज्वाइन होगा अपने मफादात को देख के। इट विल टेक साइड विद अनदर स्टेट। So with this we come to the end of the criticism of balance of power. The conclusion is that balance of power has both positive and negative aspects. It has contributed to power struggle and power politics. ताकत का हसूल और ताकत के लिए जदोजहद करना, ये balance of power की वजह से रहा है। Balance of power dynamic भी है। The states are forcefully driven into power game. The states are constantly struggling for power. They love power and they do anything for power. As a result, it creates hatred. It also brings suspicion. It also results in arms race, जिसकी वजह से नफरतें जन्म लेती हैं। स्टेट्स अपनी पावर को ज़्यादा करते हैं ताकि पावर बैलेंस रहे, जिसकी वजह से असले की दौड़ भी लग जाती है। ये है वो नेगेटिव एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ बैलेंस ऑफ पावर। लेकिन इसी के साथ बैलेंस ऑफ पावर also contributed to international peace. It has also improved the collective security. It also leads to disarmaments in which the states reduces their arms and weapons. So the concept of balance of power has both the aspects. It has positive aspects, it has negative aspects. It brings tension, it brings armaments, it creates hatred, it also brings peace. It also helps in collective security. It also leads to disarmaments. So because it has both the aspects, according to Palmer and Perkins, as long as the nation-state system is prevailing, balance of power policy will be followed in practice. कि जब तक रियासतें मौजूद रहें और वो एक दूसरे के साथ इंटरेक्शन कर रही हैं, तो बैलेंस ऑफ पावर का जो असूल है वो हमेशा कारफरमा रहेगा और उनके लिए स्टेट मुसलसल जद्दोजहद करती रहेंगी।